Item: SCP-925. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Specimens of SCP-925 are to be kept in individual standard 5 m by 5 m steel cells. Twice a day, 285 grams of various fungi are to be pushed through a door slot and into the cell using the provided pole. Personnel transporting SCP-925 specimens are to wear steel mesh suits underneath Level D hazmat equipment. Should Level 0 personnel and above physically contact a specimen without the aforementioned equipment, a Class B amnestic is to be administered, followed by transfer to another project. Class D personnel are to be terminated. Description: physically, the species SCP-925 appears near identical to a male human. Mentally, SCP-925 who have cooperated exhibit behavior associated with acute dissociation and fatigue. Personnel interacting with a specimen report that it seems normal, but slow, acting as if inebriated or impaired. This seems to be deliberate on the specimen's part, in order to be dismissed by those surrounding it, allowing it to close on potential victims. SCP-925 specimens appear to be intersex. Specimens in confinement refuse to reproduce, and the act has yet to be observed in the wild. When a SCP-925 specimen makes physical contact with a human, the victim will become more sympathetic to the specimen. If physical contact is maintained for more than 3 to 5 minutes, the affected human will become completely devoted to the specimen. Once a specimen has gathered between 10 and 30 followers, it will lead them to a distant, secluded area. Any attempt to interact with or stop the group will be met with violence. Once the group has arrived, the followers will begin digging downwards, starting with a tunnel and gradually widening it out into a cavern as the group digs deeper. Once the cavern is finished, the followers will search the nearby area for materials to use as fertilizer, then grow mushrooms in the cavern, eating as little as possible to stay alive. Followers who die due to exhaustion and malnutrition will also be used as fertilizer. SCP-925 will gorge itself on mushrooms whenever a crop is ready for harvest. Once most of the followers have been worked to death, the specimen will leave the cavern, gather approximately twice the previous number of followers, and return, using the new followers to construct additional caverns, and grow more mushrooms in each cavern. This process will be repeated every time a significant portion of the followers die. Currently, 13 specimens are contained, designated SCP-925-1 through SCP-925-13. Specimens have been captured in North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. These specimens were all found within 30 miles of large population centers. Each specimen was living in a large cavern system with between 20 and 35 caverns.